Pastor Judy, founder and co-spiritual director of InSpiritTruthCenter right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I would like to welcome you to InSpirit TV. InSpirit TV was created so you can have an inside look at our Celebrate Your Life service. It's different than any other service that you could even imagine. So take an inside look and we'll come back and talk in a few minutes.
The Spirit family, that's what I want to talk to you about this morning. I want to talk to you about creating your own ultimate divine inspiration. Manifesting your own divine inspiration in your life, because you don't know if what you give birth to will change the world. Now let's talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about Mary. Who was Mary? Mary was a young girl. Mary was no older than 12, 14 years of age. Mary was poor. She didn't have any money. And she was a female. In her culture and society, what is that? Nothing and nobody. What did Mary do that made God pick her? Well, I'm going to tell you, it's the same thing that you can do. All Mary did, and it's not so little, but it sounds that little, all Mary did was pray and meditate. All Mary did was be still. All Mary did was love the Lord. And because Mary loved the Lord so, God chose Mary. And God will choose you too.
Rev Deb is giving us a great look at Mary's decision. Mary's decision to commit to prayer, meditation, faith, and dedication. If you commit to prayer, meditation, faith, and dedication, what appears to be impossible will definitely be possible. You can give birth to something great, just like Mary. So let's continue to watch, and we'll come back and talk in a minute.
I already told you that Mary wasn't nothing much, but I also told you why God chose her. So now we have Mary, if you can picture this. She's there and she's probably praying and meditating. Because as you know, it is when you get still and close out the outer and go within when you hear the still small voice. Now in this case, God sent Gabriel. Now you know Gabriel's God's right-hand man. Gabriel is the one. If you see Gabriel, you know something important is about to happen. Be careful, because if he's coming just to talk to you, it's going to be big. Now, Mary's not afraid of the presence of Gabriel because, of course, Gabriel brings with him peace. And Mary's already in prayer and meditation and in connection with God, so she's wide open to the message. And the angel Gabriel gives Mary the message and tells her, you are highly favored with God. Mary's like, what? Me? And it says that in the scripture that Mary was troubled with what the angel had said. But there's a thing about when God has a message for you. And the thing about when God has a message for you, it comes to you in a voice that you recognize. God comes to you in a voice that's familiar to you. And most of the time, it sounds like your own voice in your own head. So oftentimes you think, well, this is just my imagination. But it comes to you with a feeling of peace. It comes to you with a feeling of direction. It comes to you with a feeling of purpose. But we often doubt it. We doubt it when God brings a word to us because we don't really believe he's talking to us. And so we do like Mary did. We say, you talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you. And if you can't hear me now, you're going to hear it again. You got something to do. You've got a task. You've been given a divine inspiration. Believe it. And it's not going to go away. Now, the angel told Mary not to be afraid because you and I both know that as soon as you get one of those ideas in your head, that's the first thing you are is afraid. No, No, I don't think I can do it. No. Me? No, that's not what I'm about. I've got this job over here. But let me tell you something. You keep messing around, not listen to that voice. You lose the job, you lose the house, you lose the car. It will all go away so that when you have nothing, what else can you do but stand and pay attention to what God has for you? Now, the angel told Mary that she was going to have a baby. I'm sure Mary looked at the angel and said, "What you talking about, Willis?" Mary's like, "Well, how can I do that? How can I have a baby? I haven't even been with my husband." At this point, most of us would kind of discount that, turn it all off, and walk away. This is ridiculous. But Mary didn't do that. She did ask the angel, "How's that going to happen?" And the angel told her, and she listened. There are many people that have listened. Shonda Rhimes, sitting around in her pajamas watching TV, got the message. She got the message to write her own shows. She didn't like what she was watching, and now you're watching Grey's Anatomy. Now you're watching Scandal. Now you're watching some really good shows. Shonda Rhimes was obedient to her divine inspiration. Your message doesn't have to be from Gabriel. Your message comes to you all the time. You just have to have ears to hear, heart open, and receptive to you. There are children who know right from the very beginning. They get the message quick. They know what they want to be. They know what they want to do. They are divinely inspired right from the very beginning. I'm going to be this. And they follow it through. It is instilled in them. They know. Listen to your divine inspiration. God has something for you to do that is going to change the world. It doesn't matter how small it is. It doesn't matter how minute it may seem to be. It is your divine inspiration. It is for you to manifest it into the world. Now, you would think, Mary got a message from Gabriel, God's right-hand man. You would think that she's probably, as soon as he left, he's probably like, "Oh man, I've got it made. Now I'm carrying the Son of God. Woo! Easy street, life of luxury. This is good." Not quite like that. It doesn't work that way to give birth to a divine inspiration. It must grow inside of you. You must give it some love and some wisdom. You have to go through some things before you give birth. Now, the angel did give Mary something so that she wouldn't walk away thinking it was all in her head. The angel told Mary that Elizabeth, who was barren, is also pregnant. After the angel left, Mary could have just blew it off. But you know what she did? She jumped right on Pat and Turner. That's her feet if you don't know. She jumped right on Pat and Turner, went on down to Elizabeth's house, and as soon as she walked in the door, the baby started doing tumble-salts inside of Elizabeth's belly. And she knew that was her confirmation that she really was on divine assignment. God will confirm that what is for you is for you. There are no coincidences. Mary's the divine inspiration. Joseph's the wisdom. He didn't quite understand it. And metaphysically, we say that Joseph represents wisdom. When Joseph found out, his first thought was, "Oh man, she's been unfaithful already. You know, I could have her stoned. But no, I'm a good guy, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to send her away." When we get the divine inspiration and we're all energetic inside, but yet we have not connected that divine inspiration with our understanding, we're ready to bolt. I don't understand this. I can't deal with this. I'm going to walk away from it. So God said, "All right, Joseph, as soon as you're still, we're going to send you some divine inspiration." And that's what happened. Joseph became still before he made this move, and God sent an angel to tell him what was going on and told him not to send Mary away. So now we have wisdom and divine inspiration that have met. We have the message that you've gotten, and you finally understand that it's for you. Your head and your heart have come together, and you're ready to move forward. Now, God wouldn't bring you to something if he wasn't going to bring you through something, right? We hear that all the time. So you know you've got this divine inspiration. And so you walk down that road. And Mary's road happened to be the road to Bethlehem. Now, it wasn't no short walk down the block either. It was a rather long way. It took quite a bit of time. Here they go to Bethlehem. This is the long journey to bringing forth your divine inspiration. Now, you would think that Mary, carrying the Son of Man, would not have to do this. You would think that you're given a divine inspiration from God, that you wouldn't have this much trouble. But sometimes it's darkest just before the dawn. Sometimes we got to put a little bit of sweat into our labor. And that's what Mary did. But she gets there and there's not even a room for her to lay her head. And now it's time to give birth. Sometimes when you give birth to that divine inspiration, it isn't under the best of circumstances. It may not be exactly how you pictured it to be. God has a whole different plan. And let me tell you, it's far better than any plan you could come up with. You can't even begin to imagine what it is that God has for you. Just because you're in a manger doesn't mean that it's bad. Just because you're laying on hay doesn't mean it's bad. Tyler Perry got his divine inspiration. Took him a long time to write those plays. He was living in his car. All right? He wrote his play. He saved up his money. He didn't spend it on the luxuries like a bed, a house. He produced his first play and put it on right here in Atlanta. And you know what? He failed. He was in the manger. I think that he said there were 2 people in the audience, his mother and somebody else. Okay? But did he give up? Mm-mm. He kept working it. He reworked it and reworked it. Great suffering, great pain. He kept at it, and he gave birth to stardom right now. There are so many stories like that. Steve Harvey lived in his car for a while. He had that divine inspiration that he wanted to touch the world through comedy. But his vision wasn't even that big. He just wanted to do a few jokes on stage. But now he's touching lives in a way that he never even imagined. Like I said, Mary was obedient to the will of God in her life. It didn't matter if the road was easy. She was there in her heart and in her mind. The wisdom and the understanding came together to give birth to her divine inspiration.
Rev Deb just gave us a great lesson. The great lesson is prayer, meditation, faith, and dedication will really help you to give birth to whatever it is that you desire. God has a great plan in store for you, and you can make it come to life. All you have to do is focus, believe, and do what God is telling you to do. Prayer, meditation, faith, and dedication. And you will give birth to a joy to the world. I'd like to thank you for joining us right here at InSpirit TV. And of course, I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful week. Peace and blessings.